Welcome back to Papa Joe's Trains and Toys. The answer to the last video's train trivia is Jesse James. Good old Jesse. This video's train trivia, the world's largest model railroad is in what city and country? Well, good day. So I am currently dry fitting track, which is a process. I've come to find out. I'm trying to get two particular sections done and glued down so that I can work on the mountain area without having to worry about reaching over and through styrofoam and scenery. So currently, to make sure that everything is in the right place, I'm trying to dry fit all of the track, or at least remotely close to where it's supposed to be. So the tunnel sections, like back there and here, the track is already down and the feeders have been fed through. So that when those holes are covered up, I don't have to worry about it. My issue currently that I'm running into, I'm going to go ahead and do what I can, but and I'm not going to film a lot of that. It's just going to be tedious. Me laying track down, putting pins in the holes to make sure everything is where it's at, and continuing on from there. But I don't have enough switches, and so I need to go ahead and get this track laid out. I need to count up how many switches I need, and then I need to go ahead and get those switches. But we're making progress, lots of progress. I'm very happy with the current state of affairs and how quickly I've actually made it to here. Got all my electrical connectors in, so there's going to be a lot of progress in the next couple of weeks. But not a lot to video. So literally all I'm doing right now is double checking on the program where things go, and then I'm pinning things down so that I can cut rail, make sure my rail joiners are in place. I'm gonna have to figure out some of this because there's a little bit of a kink in some places, and you don't want that. So that's what I'm in the process of doing. If I run across, something, that really stands out that I need to share, I'll turn the camera on and I'll let y'all know. But until then, I'm going to kind of get in my own zone, turn on my music, and get to laying and dry fitting some track. I will see you all again later. Hopefully I'll have made a lot of progress. So I'm working my way around the layout, and I've run into some small issues. Also comes with being a beginner. So my cork road bed is on top of the plywood here, and I'm trying to put the track down on top of it. Dry fitting everything. These pins are pretty long, and they don't hold the track very well because of the plywood. Now where there's styrofoam, it's not an issue. So you may want to think about getting some old-fashioned small thumbtacks. The other thing I'm going to do is use these clamps when I go to glue. I will be able to put them on there to hold the track in place to a certain degree. I do have quite a few of them, so it shouldn't be a problem. I'm going to have to move the styrofoam out of my way to do all this when I go to glue. Like I said, I'm still dry fitting, but I wanted to record for a moment to let you know that sometimes you're going to get discouraged. You're not going to know exactly what to do, and you might have to use some critical thinking. You might have to look up other people on YouTube to figure out what you're doing. There are times in this project where I have absolutely thought I have bit off way more than I can chew, but I'm going to continue on because this is what I want. I didn't want to start with a small layout and then decide I wanted something bigger and then tear it all apart and start over. So I started medium, not super large. My room is only 11.5 by 12 feet, so it's not ginormous. I know guys out there that are doing 60 by 40 layouts, and I just can't even imagine how long that's going to take people. But I wanted to point out a couple of things that you're going to run into issues. Do some problem solving, figure it out, go to YouTube, find a solution. Don't let it get you down. This, like I said, this is supposed to be my Zen space, so I'm going to continue trucking along. I want to really get this corner, these two tunnels, track, dry fitted and glued. Hopefully today I'll get it glued down so that I can go ahead and start building up certain areas. And I need to do that before I figure out this switch that's coming up, because I need to mold that hill with some sculpt mold after that section with the tunnel's been done, so that I can continue forward from there. But I wanted to share that I was a little miffed this morning. I'm having some issues. These pins are just not working out. The track's all over the place. But I've come up with some solutions. Thankfully, my wife had some old thumbtacks, and I should be able to have it taken care of along with the clamps without any issues. I will say, let me see if I can make sure this is in camera view. This flex track comes with the ties all the way to the end of the rails. Depending on whether I've been on a straight section or a curved section, I've been taking either 2 or 3 ties off of each end of the flex track. And then later on I will have to make sure they're nice and neat and slide them back underneath and glue them down so I don't have huge gaps where there's no railroad ties. But I wanted to show my issues. That's the point of this channel, is beginners doing beginner things. That being said, I'm going to get back at it. I do not intend on soldering my joints together. I will solder the feeder wires, but I don't see it necessary to solder the joints together. I'm in a very humid climate. These things are going to expand and contract even though I'm inside in the air conditioning. But I plan on having drop feeders on every section of track, so continuity and electrical power shouldn't be an issue to begin with. Shouldn't be. But, you know, things happen, so. Alright, so something that probably should have mentioned earlier is how I am figuring out where to lay the track. Is I am starting with knowing where the switches are and pinning them down, and I'm going off of that before I make any cuts to anything. Because the switches, they're going to be where they're going to be. You can't really change that, but you can check and change the length of the rest of the track and the flex track. So up here, I started with my crossover and then went around the back. So all of that is glued in place. It's all drying now. I did not glue the switches though, because I haven't wired them. So they'll probably be the last thing to get glued down. And again, like I said earlier, I don't have all my switches yet. But I wanted to mention that's how I'm starting out, is with the switches to base the rest of the track off of. So at least the switches are accurately placed. And then when it comes to, so you come around this bend and flex track, you end up with a bunch of leftover rail. So I'm going to have to cut, which is understandable because how the flex track is made, literally the ends are at the ends of the ties, and I'm having to cut 2 or 3 off depending on if it's a curved section or a straight section. And then when I come back around to so like this portion right here, you can see that's where it's joined together. Later on I will slide 2 ties under there and make it look like there's nothing missing. So, but I just wanted to film this portion to let you know how I was starting things. Okay, so end of the week. I have accomplished a lot, but I haven't videoed a lot. Just wanted to kind of show you the tools of the trade at the moment for this week. So, extra charging cable, obviously. In here is all of the ties that I have cut off. And I've also cut off the nubs on top. I don't know how well it's going to focus, if it will at all. Let me try and put it in my palm. So there was little nubs that hold the rails in. You cut those off because later on you have to slide them under the gaps, which I've done a couple of those. So we have a couple of different types of pliers, rail cutters, metal files, rail joiners, large pins, Elmer's glue, scraper to spread glue, of course paper towels, long straight edge, foam cutters, sanding block, tape measure, track layout plan, pens and markers, other thumbtacks. Both inner tracks, my track number 1 and 2, are done. They are all glued down. They still have pins in. The switches are not glued down, and tomorrow I'll take out all the pins that are holding everything in place. I had the water bottles on there for a good 5 or 6 hours and then decided to go ahead and pull them up because that Elmer's doesn't take long to set. I have come around in the back, and I can't even tell here anymore where I have added, there we go, there's one that's still drawing, the railroad ties back in. So the whole back tunnel section and this tunnel section are done. So that being said, I am kind of at a standstill for gluing because I'm missing 3 switches up here, crossover, and then the one diverging track. And then I have decided to go a completely different route on my staging yard. So I need another 7 switches and some code 100 to code 83 track joiners so that everything's the same height. I need ballast. I need about, I don't remember the quantity. I think another 13 tortoise switch machines. And then one thing that I did not get when I ordered all of this stuff was the double pole, double throw switches to run the tortoise machines, which will be attached in the fronts depending on where the switches are, with LED lights to tell me which switches are where, well, how they're thrown. So that's going to be it for this week. Starting, I don't know, when I have time, I'm going to go ahead and do my drop feeders for the tracks that are glued down. I need to drill holes underneath the throw bars for the switch machines. I'm going to go ahead and get those mounted. Well, the holes drilled. I don't know if I'm going to mount the switch machines yet because I don't have everything to run them. So right now I'm stuck running things manually. But until I can purchase some more stuff, I'm going to go ahead and do drop feeders for track 1 and 2. Get those all hooked up. And hopefully you'll see some of that in the next video. Again, please leave comments, constructive criticism, share, like, and subscribe. And have a great week. I did take quite a few still shots this week. I went ahead and added them to the end of the video here so that you can, stop and take a closer look at some of the things that I was doing in progress with the layout. It might be helpful for some people starting out, might not be. It's up to you. Take a look and watch along. Other than that, have a good week and enjoy the rest of these stills.